Security forces in Syria are keeping up their siege of the northern city of Hama. Rights activists say scores of people have been killed since the army moved into the town on Sunday. Protests are being held in several towns across Syria following Friday prayers. This amateur video, which Al Jazeera cannot verify, is said to have been taken in the capital, Damascus. In Hama, residents say snipers stationed on rooftops have been shooting randomly at civilians. Witnesses tell Al Jazeera tanks pounded two of the city's hospitals earlier this week. Now, Russia appears to have toughened its stance on Syria just days after opposing a UN Security Council resolution against the government in Damascus.
Нужно срочно проводить реформы.
It's necessary to urgently organize reforms, to put up with the opposition, restore civil peace and create a modern state. If he fails to do that, he can expect a sad fate. And at the end of the day, we also will have to make some decisions.
Earlier, Al Jazeera spoke to a resident of Hama who will call AHMAD to protect his identity. He has since fled the city but described the army's assault on Friday.
Hospitals were surrounded by tanks and security forces, and injured were not allowed to go to the hospitals. For the last 3 days, my nephew was very, very sick, and we couldn't go out of the house for any hospital or doctor. Even all pharmacists were closed. So we were waiting for 1-2 days, and there's no electricity, and we had to leave just to take the baby. He is 1 year old. One of the security forces was standing on the gates of Hama, forbid a bread truck to enter the city. And he literally told the driver, let them die inside. Like they're trying to make the city give up. I just want the international world to just at least force the government to bring the electricity back. People who are not killed by shooting are dying from suffering, from hunger and electricity. It's a shame on the human rights group. They're doing nothing to stop this bloodshed. All we hear is just words, but on land, nothing is changing here.
Gaetan Vannay is one of the few Western journalists who actually witnessed what's going on inside Syria. He's with the Swiss Broadcasting Corporation, and until 4 days ago was in the city of Hama. He joins us on this set. Quite incredible pictures we're getting from certain cities in Syria, which we believe are coming from today after the first protests and Friday prayers during Ramadan. Amazing that there are such large numbers on the street, considering the brutality, the force that's been unleashed on them.
Yeah, that's quite incredible. And I wasn't sure that people would go in the street in such a figures after what I witnessed last Sunday and on Monday. Because yes, the tanks moving in Hama started shooting randomly, shelling a bit on houses, and people were scared at home. I've been in for 10 days. There were every evening demonstration, and after this Sunday morning, the Sunday evening was the very first day without any demonstration. Then on Monday, even if the day was more or less quiet, few shelling, few shooting, but some more people dead. But even in this kind of quiet day, there was no demonstration on Monday evening, so a kind of victory for the regime. But the people were saying, okay, we will go back in the street. Let's wait that we just calm down a little bit. We are now afraid, but we will continue. And yes, apparently today, we are Friday, Pride Day, day of great demonstration, and they are in the streets. Yeah, it's impressive.
Now, you took some quite incredible pictures, and if we can just talk through those pictures. And the one that I found really interesting is that of the Molotov cocktails. I mean, that's basically all they really have to protect themselves, isn't it?
Yes, they have some barricades that are easily crushed by tanks, and then they have knives, sticks, stones, and this cocktail Molotov they are preparing that we can see on these pictures. And they also four people with small weapons, with guns. But they were asked by all the other people on the barricade just to go out of there, we want a peaceful demonstration, we don't want you using these guns. So basically, yes, the cocktail Molotov were the heaviest weapons, if I can say, they had to defend themselves.
Okay, not much against tanks and sniper fire. How long do you think they can keep up with this, the demonstrators, particularly in that city where the government has switched off much of the water, the electricity, the communications?
Yes, water was running, communication was running when I was there. Now I guess it's much more difficult, but their motivation was absolutely intact after the tanks entered the city. And they said, whatever happens, we will continue going and demonstrate till the very end. So it can go further quite for
And
time.
incredibly, they don't want to see any external intervention, do they? They want to do it themselves.
They want to do it themselves. They want peaceful demonstration, once again, no weapons, nothing. But it's interesting because they were torn apart, saying, okay, we want peaceful revolution. But they were showing me the tanks and saying, yes, but what can we do against that? So really torn apart. But at the end, it was already, okay, but let's keep the peaceful demonstration, no weapons and no foreign intervention. But they want more comments, more critics, more action from the international community, even if it's not coming in with the army like it happened in Libya. But they were saying, we feel left alone. We want more comments from more critics from the international community against Bashar al-Assad.
Gaetan, good to talk to you. It's very good to get any kind of information coming from Syria, because obviously it's very difficult.